What's going on, everybody? Marcus back again here with a quick video. Wanted to kind of discuss something that's a little off topic, but maybe relevant to a lot of people. I just felt like I finally should kind of tell my story about this, but I am about 10 months or so, 10 months and change, nicotine free. And it's been a crazy, crazy long journey, but I'll explain how all of that played out and how I quit vaping and just nicotine in general. So I had my first cigarette when I was probably like 18. I think as soon as I turned 18, I went right to the store and wanted a cigarette for whatever reason. I just thought that smoking cigarettes was cool. I was definitely wrong. But so I started smoking a little bit in college, and it really picked up around my junior year of college. I was probably smoking a pack a day, and I was just addicted to cigarettes. I had to smoke cigarettes. I liked it. I thought it was cool. Secondly, um, I continued to smoke for on and off, probably for another 6 years. I wasn't a pack a day, but I was close to it up until around maybe 2008, 2009. I still smoked, but I didn't need a cigarette all the time. I would probably smoke maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 cigarettes a day. And then I became a prison guard, and I kind of stopped smoking for the most part. I had hookah that I would smoke, but I didn't really need cigarettes for a while. But I started smoking again and continued to smoke. And then as I became a prison guard, I actually started chewing tobacco or dipping tobacco, and I dipped for a good, I don't know, 3 years. I was a tobacco dipper. Um, and then I discovered electronic cigarettes, and my journey into e-cigarettes started around 2013. It was 2013, and I vaped until October. I think October or September of 2019. So for a good, I want to say 6 years, I was a vapor. And around 2000, I think 14 or 15, I discovered the modded vapes. So yeah, that's my nicotine story. Right around, I think it was September, October of 2019, they had that big scare with like the Juuls putting people in hospitals and all that kind of stuff. And I had just about had enough. I was vaping about $100 worth of vape a month, and I was getting it from the Dollar E-Juice Club and Mount Baker Vapor and all those different places to get vape. And I loved it. I had my flavors. I loved it. I loved vaping. And, you know, here I am like vaping, and I'm trying to watch my kid and trying to vape. And I just couldn't do it. I wasn't vaping in the house, but I decided, hey man, I'm spending $100 a month on vape. It's really not something I should be spending my money on. I can beat this nicotine habit. So I decided one day I'm just going to quit. So what I did was I said, I know myself. I need to vape every single drop of vape I have left. And, most vapors, I don't know if you're like me, but I had my regular stash, and then I had my backup stash, and then I had my extreme backup stash. So it amounted to quite a bit of vape. It was about, I want to say about 2 or 3 weeks worth of vape I had left. So I vaped it, and I told my wife, hey, as soon as it's gone, it's done. And she didn't believe me, but I waited until lunchtime at work. I was a big vapor after meals. After I ate, I had to vape. It was just something that was just a habit of mine. I had to vape after a meal or a smoke or chew or whatever. So I sat down at lunchtime, and I had gum, sunflower seeds, and lots of water. And I had my last bit of vape lunchtime at work, and I picked a busy day at work. I said, okay, I'm gonna vape my last drop of vape, and I vaped it at work. And I started chewing gum, chewing sunflower seeds. I tell you, the first 3 days are fucking brutal because you still got nicotine in your system and your body's begging for it. And the worst part about it is I got a warm sensation right in the frontal lobe of my brain. It was just this really warm sensation that my brain was telling me, please give me more nicotine. Give me more nicotine. I gained about 10 pounds that first week, and I was losing tons of weight too. I was so depressed, man. I was like, fuck, man, I lost all this weight and gaining it all back. But that first 3 days was really fucking hard, physically and mentally and emotionally. But the worst part was the following 2 weeks to a month. I actually got into a state of depression. I have never felt depressed in my life before, ever, until I quit nicotine. And I was severely, severely depressed. And so much so that when my wife told me that she was pregnant with my second kid, I had no emotion. I was like, oh, wow. And I gave her a hug and a kiss and I faked emotion, but I didn't have emotion because I was so depressed from it. And that's the worst part about it. It took about a month to kind of get over the initial depression, but I'm good now. It's been 10 months, but the first 2 months was really rough. But the key to quitting nicotine is those first 3 days. You're gonna have to bite the bullet and do what you got to do. You got to chew on sunflower seeds, chew on gum, drink lots of water. If you have to eat, eat. Like I said, binging on food for a couple of weeks is better than putting nicotine into your system. Some after effects that I want to talk about when it comes to quitting nicotine is I started getting the best sleep I've ever gotten in my life, because I used to have to vape until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Like I'd have to vape to go to bed. It was weird because I would wake up and be Nick fixing. I'd have to wake up and go vape. And all of a sudden I started going to sleep faster and I was getting harder sleep. I was sleeping better. But of course, I also lacked a little bit of energy. Like putting nicotine as a stimulant really, really affected my life. Like it was a beneficial stimulant in my life. It controlled my hunger and it helped me get through like workouts, like just having that stimulant in your system, especially post workout. Like I'd have a post workout and I'd be tired, but as long as I sat down, had a protein shake, had some vape, I was good. But overall, my life is better without it. Obviously I've had a harder time losing weight because of it. I've had a harder time, working out because of it, but I'm sleeping better. I feel better, and I'm $100 richer every single month because of it. So I urge all of you that are addicted to nicotine, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. From 2002 until 2019, I had to have nicotine in my life. It was just part of my life, and now it's not. And it's a good thing. It's a really good thing for you. As much as I loved it, it's good to see it go. So just remember, the first 3 days, get over that, withdrawal, and then the next 2 weeks to maybe a month, you're going to be depressed. And that's when, honestly, my best advice is you need to seek some type of help, whether it's professional or not. But the people around you need to know this too, and they need to be sensitive towards you. And you might be irritable, you might be sad, you might be angry, but your friends and family need to be prepared for it, and you need to seek out help when you need it. And just, I didn't use any nicotine supplements, like no nicotine gum or anything like that. I just said, fuck it, cold turkey, get it out of my system, and it's gone. So if I can do it, you can do it. And I hope that this helps at least one person at least think about quitting, because I think that I just don't think it's a good thing to do anymore. I think it's time to move on and get something else going with your life, as opposed to just being addicted to nicotine. So that's my story. Thank you all for listening, and I hope this helps someone.